All right, Shakespeare fans, here we go. Act 3, Scene 2. Same annotations as always. And we are now in the Capulet's orchard. This is sometimes played underneath Juliet's balcony. I like it better if it's played in like Juliet's bedroom. And so she's married now, but she is now waiting for Romeo to come later. This is, probably right after Act 3, Scene 1, where Romeo kills. She doesn't know that that's happened yet, though. So we're going to do a comment box right here, just at the start. And this passage is what we call Juliet's soliloquy. Very famous set of lines. So now, this is not Juliet's only soliloquy. Now, remember, a soliloquy is when a character is on the stage by themselves and they're talking about their thoughts and feelings. Juliet does that multiple times in Romeo and Juliet, but this is what we call Juliet's soliloquy. It's very, very famous. So then we're also going to write, at this point, Juliet doesn't know what has happened and is waiting for Romeo to come consummate their marriage. Remember the rope ladder from earlier? The nurse had to get the rope ladder so that Romeo could go up and consummate the marriage. And if he doesn't do that, then they're not married. So she's sitting here waiting. So she's like half married. So, oops, here we go. Juliet. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaway eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood bating in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grow bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out with little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day as the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. So we're going to highlight some stuff. Okay, so first we're going to highlight in blue. We're going to highlight come civil night all the way down to maidenhoods. And then we're going to highlight give me my Romeo. And we're going to do this, pay no worship to the garish sun. And then in orange, we're going to highlight this. To an impatient child that hath new robes. So now let's talk a little bit, because she is not as impatient as she was before. She's still kind of childish here. But the marriage has changed her as well. She now is more mature, and she understands why she is feeling impatient, and it's because she wants her marriage to be 100% complete. That's what she's waiting for. And she's asking, there's lots of imagery and lots of figurative language going on in this, and so there's lots of black and darkness and light coming on here. There's some contrasts. And she talks about, how she's asking night, that sober-suited matron all in black, to teach her how to be a wife, right? And how to take care of her husband. And then she's talking about that if we cut Romeo up and put him up in the stars, that everyone would be in love with night and pay no mind to the day, because people generally like day more than night. And she then compares herself to a child who hath new clothes, or like ours would be a child before Christmas, and you can't sleep. So, oh, here comes my nurse, then she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. So the nurse comes in with the cords, right? The rope ladder. Now, nurse, what's news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch? Aye, aye, the cords. The nurse knows. She knows what has happened, and she's brought the news. So she throws the cords down. Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands? Ah, well a day, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack the day, he's gone, he's killed, he's dead. Now, this isn't super helpful, nurse, because if we read that and we don't know, like we know what's going on, but Juliet doesn't. So when she hears her saying, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, we think that Romeo's dead, right? So the nurse isn't being super helpful here. Who is dead? We need to know. I mean, she's in the throes of grief. Can heaven be so envious? Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, who would ever have thought it, Romeo? This makes it even worse, because now she's saying the name of Romeo and we don't have any context. So Juliet now thinks that Romeo's dead. What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe. So, we're going to highlight in orange right here, and then we're going to make a comment box. She talks immediately, as soon as she thinks Romeo's dead, she talks about poison, right? So Juliet, or let's say, see how quickly Juliet is to solve her problems with suicide. Like, that is the only solution to her problems. It's super quick. And we're going to see this more. As soon as something happens, Juliet's like, that's it. I'm going to kill myself. It's over. And it's not healthy, right? And I think part of that is because she is immature. She's younger. But I think that there's something wrong with Juliet as well. If that's the only solution you can think of, something's going on. Oh, that's my timer to put in attendance. Something's going on with you if that's your only solution. I saw the wound, I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast. A piteous corse, a bloody piteous corse, pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight. Now she's talking about Tybalt, but Juliet still doesn't know that. Oh, break my heart, poor bankrupt, breaked it once to prison. Eyes ne'er look on liberty, vile earth to earth resign. End motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier. Oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had, oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead. So we're going to make another one. Nurse still isn't helping very much here. We still don't know what happened. Now all she's done is added the name Tybalt, right? And we're like, okay, what's happening? Juliet, you see her confusion in these next couple lines. What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin and my dear lord? Then dreadful trumpets sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone? So then nurse, Tybalt is gone and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished. Finally, we get it. And like it's almost like silence goes on to Juliet, and she realizes her heart sinks And she goes, oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood? So we're going to highlight in orange. The nurse, it did, alas, the day it did. O serpent heart, hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove, feathered raven, wolvish, ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemest, a damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, that hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend? In moral paradise of such sweet flesh, was ever book contained such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace. Now, Juliet finally knows what's going on, and she starts speaking in oxymorons, just like Romeo did in the very beginning. And so we're going to do some text boxes here. We're going to make them smaller, though. We're going to make them like 11 or 12 point because they are a little larger. And so our first one is beautiful tyrant, right? You can't have a beautiful tyrant. And then we have fiend angelical. You can't have a fiend and angel, right? A fiend is like a demon. You can't have a demon angel. Then we have dove, feathered, raven. A raven is black, a dove is white. Okay. Then we have wolvish, ravening lamb, right? So it's like a lamb that is like a wolf, and it's like all hungry and blood dripping from it, right? A damned saint. You can't have a damned saint. Saints, by definition, cannot be damned. They cannot go to hell. And then we have an honorable villain. You can't have an honorable villain. Then let's make a comment box and explain what's going on with all these oxymorons. So these oxymorons symbolically help us understand the conflicted feelings that Juliet is having. She's feeling super conflicted. And you remember at the beginning, Romeo is feeling conflicted as well. So he spoke in oxymorons, right? So she is married to Romeo and thus owes him her duty and loyalty as his wife. In the Bible, it talks about this, right? Where once you get married, you forget your parents, right? That loyalty is gone, and your loyalty is to your husband or your wife. And some people are like that, some people aren't. I am like that with my wife, where my loyalty is to her. And yeah, I love my parents, and she loves her parents, but we are more worried about our spouse than the other person, right? Then we're going to do comma, but he killed her cousin, and some of her loyalty still remains with her family in this feud. It complicates the matter that her parents don't know about this, right? It's a secret wedding, and that complicates these feelings because now what can she do? You know, she could have maybe gone forward, you know, in a month or a couple days and said, look, I'm married to Romeo now, and you guys have to deal with it. But now she really can't because they hate Romeo more than they did before. There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Where's my man? Give me some aqua vitae. She wants some water. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo. So the nurse curses Romeo. He's like, shame, shame. She is. Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame upon his brow. Shame is a shame to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast I was to chide at him. So she immediately comes to Romeo's defense. Wilt you speak well of him that killed your cousin? So we're going to highlight. So the nurse immediately reverts back to we're Capulets. Are you going to say that Romeo is good? He killed Tybalt. And Juliet says, shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? So you can see this problem that we've created. Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my husband? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead that would have slain my husband. So she's reasoning with herself, and she's like, it's not that bad. At least Romeo's still alive, because Tybalt would have killed him. And then I would be out a husband, and that would be worse. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Some word there was worser than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' mind. Tybalt is dead and Romeo banished. That's the word, right? That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death has woe enough if it had ended there. Or if sour woe delights in fellowship and needly will be ranked with others' grief, why follow it? Why follow not when she said, Tybalt's dead, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both? So she says it would have been better if after the nurse had said, Tybalt's dead, if she said, my mother or my father are both are dead, right? That would have been better than banished. I cannot deal with this. Banished is the worst part of this. Why modern lamentations might have moved, but a rearward following Tybalt's death. Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure, bound, and that word's death. No words that can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse? So she reasons that banished is worse than all of it, right? You might as well just kill all of us. It's all for naught. Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither. Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords, poor ropes, you are beguiled. Both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I am made die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead. And so she is saying that she's going to kill herself, right? She's like, give me the ropes, I will kill myself, and death will be my husband. Hie you to your chamber. So the nurse is like, whoa, 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 let's not kill ourselves yet. Hie you to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, for your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him, he is hid at Lawrence's cell. So she says, I'll go find Romeo. He will come and finish your marriage. Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight and bid him come to take his last farewell. So we're going to highlight in orange right here that she's going to go find Romeo to come and comfort Juliet. So make sure that you go back and do your after reading motifs. Lots of light versus dark in here and fighting fate. Not a lot of past against the future. I mean, I guess you could talk about the fact that the nurse is being annoying because she's not giving us the information we need, but it's not as good as other past against the future things. So that's Act 3, Scene 2. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.